Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines here. Ripple says we got a $250 trillion problem. We got David Schwartz, Valente, Ripple partner, and so much more. And you're going to want every single bit of it. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube at the top of the screen. Right now, the cryptocurrency market cap is $1.25 trillion. It is up by 0.44% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin now 30,000, slightly over. Ethereum just over $1,900. And Tether is $83.7 billion market cap. XRP at the number 4 spot right now at 79 cents. Let's call it the number 3 spot because USD Tether is a stable coin. So let's see this. Right now, we look at the market cap here. We see there's a great disparity between the 229 here we see, right, billion for Ethereum and the 41 billion for XRP. But I am reminded that right before the lawsuit dropped on Ripple over XRP, the digital asset that is not a security, I am reminded that XRP was at the number 2 spot right before it was sued. One of the other reasons, reason 589, that I believe it was used as a weapon. XRP, right now, 79 cents. It's up 4.89% on the 24-hour and 67.3% on the 7-day. This is all from the XRPL HQ website, where they got the XRP rich list. You might want to go look at it, or the XRP calculator, and all the amazing companies in the ecosystem of XRP. Shout out to Linqto, who's got big news. They're thrilled to unveil. Look at this new look of brand for Linqto. I like it, and I like it a lot. Love this logo and look for them. And here's Joe Indoso talking about Ripple's value appreciation right here over the Ripple stock. Check it out.
Let's talk about Ripple. Just as XRP today is undervalued relative to its potential, so is Ripple company stock. And in the coming weeks, you're going to see the price of Ripple stock on the Linqto market go up simply because that is what is happening in the external market today. We are no longer able to source shares anywhere close to the prices that we saw pre-judgment. And as a result of that, price will unfortunately have to get passed through to the platform, right? We can't buy at a certain price and put it on the platform for less than what we're buying it at because we're not a non-profit. Having said that, think about, even though as the prices rise, think about the future value potential of Ripple. We still think it's a very, very good and attractive entry price relative to where the company is going to trade in the public market in the future. Let's talk.
I think that's such a great point from Joe Indoso, the COO of Linqto right there. Don't forget, you can get Ripple private equity while it's still available on Linqto.com and all the other amazing products as well. Don't mess around. It goes fast. Link underneath the video. And shout out to Simon McLaughlin, the CEO of Uphold. I sat down with him yesterday. That interview came out yesterday evening if you're interested in seeing it, and I highly suggest you go see it. He's got some great news in there for all of us as XRP holders. He's talking about a lot of stuff like the results and the implications of the case and XRP not being a security. He talks about the strong diamond hands they had at Uphold to not take XRP off of their list of assets to offer to retail investors. And they have something exciting coming soon too. Based on your level of XRP holdings on Uphold, you will receive an NFT that is based like an XRP army style. So you can get like these different corporal, lieutenant kind of thing. I mean, it's really kind of cool what they're doing. Not to mention the fact that the Uphold Vault is going to start with XRP holders first. And that means the XRP ledger, the vault, coming together with Uphold. This is exciting. And he goes on to tell so many other things. Check out that video under my channel. Right here, we see James K. Filan shares Ron Hammond's This Week in Congress in Crypto from Ron Hammond, who says the Ripple case has made a huge impact on the politics of the bill. This is going to be cool. We're going to need to see this. And shout out to James. He's made a huge impact on all of us. Shout out to James Filan. This week in Congress in crypto, as of right now, the stablecoin and market infrastructure bill are slated for a vote in the House committees next week. A lot of back and forth behind the scenes, but the Ripple case has made a huge impact on the politics of the bills, and here's why. It says, off the bat, the SEC has put senior Ds in Congress in a weaker negotiation position. While the case wasn't a full win for Ripple, it has significantly weakened the SEC's argument that, one, legislation wasn't needed, and two, the SEC never lost a case in the courts. D's position on legislation wasn't always a no. In fact, during my time on the Hill in 2018, Ron Hammond says senior D's Maxine Waters and Sherrod Brown met with Warren Davidson and me to discuss legislation to regulate crypto, and they said it was something they agreed needed to be done. That position on legislation flipped in 2022, however, and it was largely driven by the SEC. It is common for Congress to rely on regulators, especially when they are from the same party, as they are subject matter experts, supposedly. When Gensler pivoted from his 2021 position on legislation, so did the Ds. It says here, this is why market structure legislation seems largely Republican-led here. It says, however, the Ripple case changes this. Some hate the outcome, others praise it. Regardless of one's takeaway, there is a common theme of confusion after the fact in legislation is the only clarifying force. Unlike the stablecoin bill, there is no R version and D version. There's just one draft from Patrick McHenry and Congressman GT, as D's didn't think this legislation was needed after being told by the SEC. Now they are clear regulatory gaps, but R's and D's need, if they want this done, they need to get together. So he says here, this is why the politics comes into play. The bill seems like it will be getting a vote in the committees next week, the first step of many in getting a bill to the president's desk. Some Ds, largely younger, have expressed interest in the legislation, but not all. It says we're starting to see engagement from consumer groups defending the SEC's position that legislation is unnecessary. Recall the SEC's position differs from Biden regulators such as the Treasury, CFTC. So interesting they choose the SEC side. You can see the example here from Public Citizen saying crypto is a Ponzi scheme that disproportionately impacts low-income people of color. You know, this goes on to say here, it is also interesting to note that defending the regulation by enforcement approach is odd considering 2022 was not a good year for crypto consumers. The Hill also understood the timing of Binance, a bad actor, and Coinbase being so close to each other as politically motivated. Now, here's what we know. So we know that they're going to have a vote, and shout out to Ron Hammond for this. There's more, but you're getting the full story here. They need to vote this week or next week, and we need to find out how that's going to fall, right? And that's going to give us a sign at how close or far they may be away from at least the stablecoin or market structure bill. Thank you, Ron. And right here is a key piece of news that you're going to see. Not only is XRP not a security, wait till you hear what Matt says here from Bloomberg about how it surpassed Bitcoin. Oh, yes.
Underperformer today is Solana, down the better part of 4%, but XRP, of course, is the token that continues to be the primary story after Thursday's ruling. Yes, when sold to institutional investors, it might be a security, but for retail players, it is not. That is according to the federal judge ruling that came down just days ago. And since that ruling on Thursday, XRP is up about 60%, gaining about 2% in today's session, Matt.
All right, well, Ripple's victory is being celebrated by the market by trading more of it than any other coin. Here you can see the market share of different coins in trading volume put together by Keiko Trade Data. You can see that, of course, half is the thousands and thousands of altcoins that we don't really even know the names of. Then you've got 8%, which is Ether. 20% is the OG Bitcoin, which typically rules supreme in terms of trading volume for one single coin. But now XRP has overtaken it, which I think is pretty amazing. Bloomberg Intelligence says this decision by the court is among the more important cases for determining regulatory authority over crypto assets. That's a lose for the SEC.
Yes, it is. And it's a lose for Bitcoin, because what are you seeing now? This is exactly the trend I was talking about before the decision came down. XRP is the only digital asset in the United States of America that has clarity. Don't believe it. It's still true. When people try to lump in, and believe me, God bless Brad Garlinghouse, God bless Craig DeWitt, I've heard both of them say that Bitcoin and XRP are the only ones with legal clarity. But it isn't true. Unfortunately, it just isn't true. I disagree. XRP is the only digital asset with clarity in the United States, ladies and gentlemen, because there is no legal opinion that is a matter of law from a judge about Bitcoin. And for that, I would never forget that fact. I could tell you that. And with that being said, what are we seeing here? As I've talked about, institutions want to know where's the safe play and where's the innovation in this space that I can put the money in. And now we're starting to see that XRP surpasses Bitcoin in trade volume. How about that? Well, could we be seeing this? And by the way, I just released not only Simon McLaughlin's video interview with me, I also sat down with none other than Val Hill Capital's Jimmy Valley, Val Hill Advisors, and we sat down and discussed mass adoption and how XRP is poised with this scenario of the virtuous cycle, the flywheel effect to kick in. Listen to this and understand what exactly Matt from Bloomberg was talking about the trade volume being surpassed. We're in the early days, so I'm not suggesting it'll stay that way. But I believe as it dawns on the market in the industry that could stand to benefit from the use of the digital asset XRP, this theme is going to continue. Take a listen here.
I think, the liquidity hub, the automatic market maker type concepts that you've been hearing David Schwartz talk a lot about in the past 6-8 months really could come to the forefront here. It's a dream to me, and I've no doubt probably, I don't want to put words in his mouth, obviously, but a dream to someone like a David Schwartz, who's arguably the greatest programmer walking the face of the earth right now, to be told that programmatic sales are okay. Exactly. So you can just see him going, a programmer going, okay, well, here we go, programmatic sales. I think he can figure out how to program stuff to be able to drive a distribution in a very efficient way. And having it be at market where that be through the liquidity hub, or you got to go through the AMM, or it's not an or, it's going to be and. There's going to be all these markets, all these Coinbase and Uphold and all these different exchanges you'll be able to buy from. What we'll see very quickly, right, is the people who are taking the most fees off these transactions, that's going to get squashed down. And it'll be this kind of the automated type stuff that will be the most efficient. And that could happen extremely fast.
I would think so too, because you're touching on something that I think has a lot of weight to it, right? Which is the automated market maker. It's like allowing not only market makers, but market participants who buy enough XRP to become a market maker. This is like this perpetual lock up the value in the network so everyone could use it for liquidity, earn fees on the transactions, rewards from liquidity tokens. I mean, it's just, there is a whole scenario here that looks to be poised for mass adoption and mass total value locked up, TVL, because I think locking up this value to use it to serve the system is the holy grail that we heard, you know, Dilip Rao at his time at Ripple and so many others talk about at Ripple.
Yep, completely agree.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And with that understanding of where we are, let's take a look at this reminder. Chad Steingraber, who's been amazing on top of FedNow, 1 day away. Tomorrow is the 20th, and we know they're going to start with like 50 companies or institutions, and then they're going to, you know, obviously scale it from there. Again, like a phase-in operation like we've seen over so many years with so many different things. This is extremely exciting, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you to see right here this video clip real quick.
But is your financial institution ready for this revolution? With Volante Technologies as your trusted payments modernization partner, you can easily meet this challenge to change. And now, Volante offers the easiest and quickest way to FedNow. You can have your 24/7 year-round service up and running without core changes, letting you focus on building better customer-centric services faster than your competition.
So what does that sound like? Right? 24/7, 365. And here's a gentleman from Volante stating Ripple is in the works here. Take a listen to this. FedNow, 1 day away. Take a listen.
Premium on reducing the cost of doing payment processing. And that's something that payments in the service as a service in the cloud happens to be particularly good at, is helping banks reduce the cost of their infrastructure so they can use those funds for other things. Like, for example, providing more value-added services. And that's really the other side of it. It's not just about cost reduction. It's also about the fact that banks today have to deal with a lot more different kinds of payment types, real-time payments, new cross-border settlement methods like Ripple and GPI. And on the front end, they've got to deal with open banking, APIs, and really becoming value-added service providers.
Not to take into account.
Exactly. So as a result, the agility that moving to a service model brings, the speed that cloud brings, is, if it were just those things, that would be enough. But the fact that the cloud also is now more secure than a typical bank data center and performs better, really when you put all those things together, it's a huge win for payments as a service providers.
And there you have it right there, but we're not done with you yet. Chad Steingraber says, I want you to repeat this, say it out loud, because it's maybe the most important statement you're going to get. Next-gen fintechs will be the new Nostro Vostro account managers. They will source liquidity on RippleNet. This here from FedNow, the payments of FedNow is going to be a headless application. Financial institutions can work with fintechs to implement either mobile apps or online banking platforms that their customers can initiate transactions. The FedNow service is also going to be using the ISO 20022 specifications. We also know that Stellar XLM and Ripple XRP are the only two distributed ledger technology companies at this point that have been announced to be a part of that ISO 20022 standard body committee. And then there's this guy, David Schwartz here, the $1 trillion man, talking about the $250 trillion problem that Ripple's discussing here. The value of cross-border payments is expected to reach $250 trillion in the next 4 years by 2027. And the advantages of global payments powered by crypto are readily apparent. Furthermore, half of the global payments and treasury professionals point to faster payments and cost savings as the top two reasons to incorporate crypto into their cross-border payment business. How about that from Ripple's latest report? Listen to David right here.
Multi-trillion-dollar problem. And it seems like cryptocurrencies are just naturally suited to make payments better. And it's specifically, we kind of focused on cross-border international payments, not because domestic payments are great, but because cross-border payments are the worst. Like if anyone who's made an international payment probably has stories of bad experiences. And so the worse the thing you start with, the less amazing you have to be better. And I think we can eventually be amazing and sort of take over the payments world, but we're not going to be there day one. And so if we can't succeed against the worst part of the problem, why are we bothering? And so that was kind of the very earliest focus. And I think that kind of matured between 2011 and 2014, this kind of focus of like, we really need to solve payments. And if you think about any other use case, you think about an NFT. Well, I want to buy it and I want to sell it. Think about a loan. Well, I want to pay the loan back. And I want to get paid like the amount of money I borrowed. Like all of these other use cases need great payments. And so we just sort of laser focused in on payments.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Not financial advice from me, him, or anyone else. It's just our digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.